So we have an eclipse coming. Is this the total eclipse of the heart or the real deal?
This is actually, it's the real deal. It's the lunar eclipse is on Wednesday. And it's on the Aries-Libra axis. So it's very, very important because full moons and eclipses bring important matters you've been working on since the spring eclipses to fruition. So I thought I would remind people about that, about what that means. So for Libras in particular, it's about them. It's about their interpersonal relationships. It's about the Libra getting what the Libra wants from the Libra's partner, because they are the most partner-oriented of all the signs of the zodiac. So there will be some kind of resolution the first 3 days of this week, culminating in the eclipse for Libras. For Scorpios, it's a time of finishing up projects, and they have to really force themselves to finish things that they've been working on for the last 3 years to bring that to a successful conclusion. For Sagittarians, this eclipse is in their 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives, and their creativity. So the Sagittarians' challenge is to find a way to take their creativity based on the love principle and turn it into something that they can work with, something that meets their needs. And if they're single, they're going to look inside their existing group of friends for somebody to be with. And if they're married, that same thing occurs. Their their dance card is pretty full. For Capricorns, 10th house of career and public standings, and Capricorns have known since the spring that there's something not quite right about where they work, and they've had a decision, do I stay, do I go, but I'm not sure, and there's been no real compelling evidence one way or the other for them that would tip the scales for that decision. Well, that comes this week, and one way or the other, they will know what the right thing is for them to do professionally. For Aquarians, it's in the 9th house of the law, important legal, educational matters, contracts, negotiations. Aquarians have the upper hand in that kind of thing. And they can literally ram their opinion down somebody else's throat to make the law work for them rather than against them. For Pisces, it's about other people's resources. This is not about the money that they earn, but it's the money that they benefit from other people's resources will be the thing that comes into play over the next week or so. And also, it's almost like a money falls from the sky. And if they've been a lot of people waiting for banks to refinance, they get that information about that now. So it's other people's resources flow their way. For Aries, it's about them and their partnerships, but it's more about their rights inside the partnership rather than the partner's rights in the relationship. For Tauruses, nothing but work awaits them. And the trouble with that is that they're going to be working so hard and at such a fast pace that it may take its toll on their health. They have to be really careful to pace themselves and not work until they drop Pat.
Okay, Pat, listen to her.
She is. She'll just work until there's nothing left for her. For Geminis, it's in their 5th house of love affairs and love and creativity and children and sports and amusements and pleasures. And all of that is very, very positive this time for the Gemini. They get a very, very good result with it. For Cancers, it's about their home. And the trouble with that is they're trying to do something out of their home that's sort of work-related, and they really can't do that. They need to work at work and leave their home life to be their home life because there'll be real conflict there. For Leos, contracts, negotiations, agreements, important information, important documentation, something they've been working on since the spring, comes to be during the first 4 or 5 days of this week. And that it's something that they've really been working on. And my hint to Leo is you may have to give a little in a negotiation to get a lot in return.
Gotcha.
And then for Virgos, it's about the money. It's about them making more money. It's about them not only making more money through the fruits of their labor, but it's through other people's resources flowing their way. And instead of looking for new resources to tap, the Virgo really needs to take a look at their existing resources and work with those. So that's tomorrow's news for the 12 signs of the zodiac for the eclipse on Wednesday. And as I'm leaving, I'm going to say, and Mercury retrogrades on Saturday, so finish up most agreements in principle. Even if you can't get all of the specifics, come to terms agreements in principle before Saturday, because Mercury retrogrades on the 4th and it stays retrograde for 21 days.
No! Get out!
I'll be leaving now.
See you next week.
Always a pleasure.